And so now, with that kick panel done, I'm going to move on to sorting out the rust along this this rear window frame. It looks like they've sort of, I think that's that brass filler that they've put in there. But I felt up under here, and it's pretty rusty behind this panel. Even though this panel looks pretty nice, apart from all this stuff behind this panel, it's pretty crusty. So I had this panel, which is off the donor car, which, you look at that, that is a lot better than what's behind this panel here. So I think what I'm going to do is line this one up and take out all these spot welds which go along there and there, and then cut a whole section out to replace with that one. So it'd be something, it'd probably be about that. I think I might cut it off about here, because you can see here there's a rust hole which they've fixed there, which I sanded back and had a good look at. Now, I'm not sure if you can see that, let's put it in the light. So all the Australian people will know what that is, apart from an echidna. That is our 5-cent coin, which someone has used to plug this rust hole, which is interesting. So it's a 5-cent rust repair, I guess. So that's the task now, is to sort of locate these spot welds and the spot welds down here, and then figure out how much of this one I'm going to use. It's okay along here. I looked from under there, and it's okay through here. So I'll probably end up chopping this one. Goes that way. Yeah, so it sort of lines up about there. So I'll probably end up chopping this one before this 5-cent coin fix, cutting it down there, which will sort of be about here. I think all this is okay, but then in one go, by replacing this panel, it'll get rid of all this mank up to about here, I think. So I still need to fix that, but yeah, first things first is to get this panel off. Right, the cut is done. Now to see if it was the right thing to do. So this is this panel. So that's that panel. Hopefully that is a lot better than this one. Yeah. Gross. So I think that was definitely the right decision, and it means we can also get right in here and clean all of this up. So now we've cut that section out, and I've roughly cleaned all this up. But I think most of it's good. Like, all this seems to be okay. There's not really pitted there. The only bit that I'm probably going to have to rebuild is this section through here of this top lip. It's a bit pitted there, but I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I can just feel along sort of this section here that it's sort of quite rusted at the back, and it's a bit chunked out. So what I'll probably do is maybe cut down here along here, and then I think this feels alright. Yeah, possibly down here and across there, and then up to just rebuild that section there, which I think is a bit average. I've made the cuts and just peeled this bit back, and you can see in there, I mean, it's just surface rust, it's nothing too major. But I'd love to be able to get in there and just get all that clean, so that at least I knew behind all this it was clean. And I'm thinking I want to replace these bits here anyway, sort of this whole section, because it's pretty crusty behind. So what I might do before I commit to ripping all this off is actually see if I can make a new section to go along here, because it's sort of got a bit of a bend in it to follow this this rear windshield. So I'm going to fabricate a whole new one of these up, see if I can get it right. If it looks good, then I'll commit to cutting all this off. Otherwise, I might just, I don't know, I think I might just drill the welds out and just open it up a bit, and then from underneath try to use a wire brush and maybe treat it that way. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can fabricate this panel. Alright, so I started to make up a section to go along here to include this little lip here, and realised that not only does it have a bend that way, it also has a bend that way, and trying to work those two bends into essentially that S-shaped piece was far beyond my skill level. So I decided all I really needed to do was to cut along there and then up, because that will give me access to between these two panels, so I can clean all that up. So I fabbed up this little panel here, which sits lovely in there. It should do the job. So now all I got to do is pop out the rest of these spot welds, cut down here and cut across, probably about to about here, and then up. And then I can replace that whole panel and start jumping onto these other bits. Alright, so there we have it. This bit is now cut off and sitting back here, so you can see there how average that was. I mean, this stuff through here, would it have kept rusting? Probably not. This is pretty chunky through here, but might as well just fix it all up properly. So that bit's off there. I've prepped this with the weld through primer, and this is the panel I've made up. So there's the I guess there's the comparison there between old versus new. So next up I need to, where is it? I need to weld that piece there in. Once that's in, I'm going to clean all this right up and prime that, and then I can weld on that section through there and then tackle this little corner here before moving on to just these two little spots here. I think this one here will probably just be welded up because I've looked at it from the other side there and it's pretty clean. This one here I might just cut a little section out because that looks a bit boggier on the other side. So let's get into it. Alrighty, there we are, job done. Welded in, ground back. Looks $1 million. Now, the next step is to clean all this up, prime it, and then finally get this section here on. I think I'm just going to rebuild this little lip here, I think, because other than that, that's sort of the only area up there that's looking a bit rough. So I might quickly just refabricate a little lip for that bit there, get that on, and then hopefully you can tie all this up and get cracking on this bit here. Okay, done. So you would have seen me there banging in all the spot welds across the top and across the bottom. Still useless at spot welds, but anyway, these are the two bits that I was really concerned about blowing holes through, is that side there and this side here, because that's going to be really visible if you start blowing holes and then having to start chasing your tail, patching those holes up. But I am super duper stoked with how that turned out. It's very, very minor bump, if anything. Like across there, there's nothing. Across there, it's very, very small. You wouldn't probably be able to tell after paint goes on. So that's the whole window surround done, except for this little bit here, which I've created this panel that will sit just in there when it's done. I'll put that in off screen just to finish all this off. But there we have it, all done. I think there's just a couple of little bits here that I need to just tidy up a bit, but other than that, I am super happy with the way that turned out. Also during the week I started ripping all this back box section off, because I realised there's this little bit of rust here, and this has got a plate across the top, and then you got the back half of the box section that then comes down and sits along there, and I could see through the little inspection holes sort of thing through the back that this was all, let's see if we can see it, that's all pretty, it's not deep rust, it's just sort of that surface stuff. It gets a bit deeper through there, but so I ended up cutting this whole back box section off there so I could gain access to this, and this is all going to get treated and then slapped with that sort of rust prevention sealer all through there to stop it ever happening again. Then I'll re-weld the back of that box section up and then fabricate a panel across the top there, weld that on, and then this whole back bit here will be finished, and then I can move on to these rear quarters. But that is having this whole window shield perimeter done is it's a big win. So I think that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode I might record some putting this back together. Otherwise I think next stop will be tackling the rust around the front windshield. But that is a job for next time. Until then, thanks for watching.